Hello again, everyone. This is Randy, your sewing machine man. We're looking at a BERNINA Sport 801. And the reason we're looking at it is because the lifter lever for the presser foot fell off. There's a set screw that holds it in place back here. And it holds it in place. And vibration and stuff, it's mechanical. These things fall out. It's not unusual for it to fall out. So I'm going to show you how to put it back in. It's a puzzle like everything else. And I have down here, I have a 2.5 millimeter metric Allen wrench, pliers, tweezers, tiny little screwdriver with a small fine point, and one with a little bit bigger point for a little more torque when I tighten it down. But we're going to run through this real quick. I've done it a million times, but doing it for the camera is a different thing. So let's get started. First, I'll get this stuff out of my way so I don't knock it all over the floor. You've seen me do that enough times, you know that can be done. And we'll spin this around. First thing you might want to do, it works for me, is take the top off. There's a screw there and a screw there. Of course, I've already taken those out. Speed things up and lift that off. And here is where we're going to see the mechanism that holds the door on. I like to get the little side door out of the way. Let's get down here so you can see what the heck's going on. We're going to take this little screw right here out. That's the 2.5 millimeter. And you get your metric 2.5. And that's going to be this little guy right here. And of course you loosen this. Just put it in there and you loosen it, and then you'll have to take this little hinge pin. It's a little pin that runs throughout. Let's get this a little bigger so you can see what I'm talking about. This hinge pin right here, it holds the bottom and the top of your little side door on. It's a door hinge, simplest thing in the world, easy to work on. So you've got your set screw that loosens, that holds it in place. That screw is right there. Bring this down. That set screw right there is loose. And I like to leave the light on when I'm working on it. Gives me more light, but that light's hot. So if you touch it, you'll find out. Now, to get this out of there, let's go a little bigger here. I always lift up on just the door itself, and it'll just bring this up here so you can get a hold of it. I just raise it up. There's a little black washer right on top of that hinge pin. So you grab the washer and the hinge pin and you pull it straight up and out. Simplest thing in the world. Little black washer right there. Don't lose that. Hang on to that. Set the whole thing aside. Now you're ready to put your hinge, not your hinge, but your lifter lever back on. You see your lifter lever is going to go right. That's where the set screw is going to go, and there it holds it in place. Right down here, that's going to be this little screw right here. That little guy, don't lose it. You won't find it at the hardware store. And your lifter lever goes on two different ways. It'll go on this way. It'll go on this way. This way works. This way doesn't work. The difference is if you try to put it in with the long side facing in the machine, like back here, where we're going to put it on, is back here. Let's get a close up of that area where it goes in. There's a little spring-loaded device that it has to rise up in front of. You see it sticking out there. That little spring-loaded guy right there. You have to slide underneath there. This is the wrong way. You want to flip it over so the short side is going in first. So you put it in the slot, put it underneath that, and you slide that up. And you see that's going to go and line up with that hole inside behind this door here. So you push it up in like so. You bring this around, get your door out of the way. And here's where it gets fun. And people ask me why my fingernails are so long. It's because quite often they become screwdrivers and I have to grab things. Shine this light in here. This is where it's going. Let's bring this down so you can see. How many people like to see? I assume that I know all this, and I do, but I can't assume that you see it because there's no hurry. You want to see it correctly, so we'll just take our time. Shine the light through there. See, that's going through, and this is it's gonna screw in this screw. Of course, we'll go in first. And it'll screw in there after it goes through the lifter lever, which will go in with the short side, not the long side. Short side, and you put it in the slot. You lift up on this little spring deal. It'll slide in. You can see it there. And this is where you're going to put your screw in there. I'm doing this through the camera, so push it all the way in. Grab your screwdriver that you put completely on the other side of the world, put it in the slot, and you tighten her down. It will turn many times before it's tight. It's got real fine threads, and you will turn it many times before it actually tightens down. I use my other one when I get it started, because it just makes it easier leverage wise for me. Get the long one going. I tell people I have 500 screwdrivers. I'm not exaggerating. I have at least 500 screwdrivers. So I'll torque it down as best I can with that one. I'll come back with the larger top, get it in the slot. And with the bigger handle, bigger blade, you can put some real torque on it without monkeying up the end of your screwdriver. Get it in there just right, and you can really torque it down. Put good torque on it. I kind of like this one better. It goes deeper in there. Nice and tight. It's not nice and tight, it'll just pop out again. So then you got to put your hinge back on the door. We got this thing working down here, up, down, that's working fine, no big deal. Now we got to put our door back on because we want things to get back to where it was when we started out. So we take our hinge pin with the washer on top that we managed to not lose, and let's crank this up a little bit so you can see what's going on here. You have the top and the bottom. You see they're going to line up here. There's a hole right there. Bring this up a little bit. There's a hole up on top, and you're going to line that hole up, and you're going to push it down through. Going to line the bottom up down here. See, it's going down to the bottom. Line that up. And sometimes it'll be in a little bit of a misalignment, so you'll have to line it, push it down in all the way here. And you get your 2.5. Let the air compressor kick on like it always does. Of course, here's our 2.5 screw to tighten down the hinge pin. That in there like so. And sometimes these have a ball on the end, makes it nice and easy. Put that on there. Sometimes it's a finesse move to get it to cooperate. And once you get it on, you just have to snug it. It doesn't have to be terribly, terribly tight. Just snug it down so your hinge pin doesn't come loose. That's all there is to it. And then once you get it tight, that's good. And then this is gonna, this fits on top. Sorry about that. This fits on top into this slot, like so, and then it's nice and snug. Put your screws back in the top, tighten it back down, stitch it out, and you're done. Now you can put that lever on the wrong way, and then you lower your foot down, and it doesn't go all the way, and you'll go to sew, and the fabric will dance around. And that's when you know you got it wrong. So that has a long side and a short side. Put it in with the short side facing in, and then you'll have it right. Replacing the lifter lever, Bernina Sport 801. Okay, thanks.